Chile is situated south of Peru and west of Bolivia and Argentina. It fills a narrow 2,880-mile strip between the Andes and the Pacific. One-third of Chile is covered by the towering ranges of the Andes. At the southern tip of Chile's mainland is Punta Arenas, the southernmost city in the world, and beyond that lies the Strait of Magellan and Tierra del Fuego, an island divided between Chile and Argentina. Chile also claims sovereignty over 482,628 square miles of Antarctic territory, the Juan Fernandez Islands, and Easter Island. Chile was originally under the control of the Incas in the north and the nomadic Araucanos in the south. In 1541, Pedro de Valdivia founded the capital city of Santiago. Chile won its independence from Spain in 1818 under Bernardo O'Higgins. O'Higgins, dictator until 1823, laid the foundations of the modern state with a two-party system and a centralized government. Chile fought the War of the Pacific with Peru and Bolivia from 1879 to 1883, winning Antofagasta, Bolivia's only outlet to the sea, as well as extensive areas from Peru. Pedro Montt led a revolt that overthrew José Balmaceda in 1891 and established a parliamentary dictatorship lasting until a new constitution was adopted in 1925. Industrialization began before World War I and led to the formation of Marxist groups. In 1970, Salvador Allende became the first president in a non-communist country freely elected on a Marxist program. Allende quickly established relations with Cuba and China, introduced Marxist economic and social reforms, and nationalized many private companies, including ones owned by the US. In September of 1973, Allende was overthrown and killed in a military coup, covertly sponsored by the CIA, ending a 46-year era of constitutional government in Chile. Men will usually shake hands. Women generally pat each other on the right forearm or shoulder. These are always accompanied by the appropriate greeting for the time of the day. Buenos dias, which means good morning, buenas tardes, which means good afternoon, or buenas noches, meaning good evening. Between friends and family, things will relax and become more unreserved. Men may embrace and energetically pat each other on the back, while women will kiss once on the right cheek. If invited to a Chilean's home, take chocolates or wine for the hostess. Do not give yellow roses, as they indicate contempt. Do not give purple or black flowers, as they symbolize death. Do not give scissors or knives, as they indicate that you want to sever the relationship. For a young girl's 15th birthday, a gift of gold jewelry is the norm. Gifts are opened when received. When sitting, wait to be shown to your place. Women sit before men. The hostess invites people to eat. Keep your hands visible while eating and keep your wrists resting on the edge of the table. Always use utensils to eat. Avoid speaking with eating utensils in your hands. It is considered polite to finish everything on your plate. Wait for a toast to be made before taking the first sip of your drink, and usually the host makes the first toast. When you lift your glass, look at the person being toasted. Pour wine with your right hand only. A firm handshake accompanied with a smile and an appropriate greeting is normal in a business setting, and while doing so, direct eye contact is important. Chileans stand very close when conversing. Business cards are exchanged on the initial meeting at the very start. Try to have one side translated into Spanish, and make sure to keep your cards in good condition. Chile has a relationship-driven culture, so initial meetings should be used to build a relationship and establish trust. Devote time to non-business discussions and wait for the other party to initiate the change in topic. Pay attention to hand movements, as hand gestures change in meaning across cultures. It is common to interrupt someone when they're speaking. Business meetings in Chile are not always linear in their progression. Schedules are not very structured, and issues can be tackled all at the same time. It is important to be patient, as time is not considered something of importance in Chile. Meetings will last as long as they need to last. Remember that decisions are not made at meetings, so it's important to provide all necessary information during the meeting. Chileans are generally indirect in their communication styles, but can become very animated and assertive if and when they get emotional. Communication styles tend to be tuned to people's feelings. Confrontation is generally avoided in order to avoid jeopardizing another person's honor or dignity. Therefore, it may be necessary to read between the lines in order to fully understand what is really meant. Never openly criticize anyone.
fuerza actual es de 58 jinetes, organizados en picadores.
¡Oye, camarógrafo! ¡Camarógrafo! ¡Cámara! ¡Cámara, córrete un poquito!
One of the most isolated islands on Earth, Easter Island is located in the southeastern Pacific Ocean. Officially a territory of Chile, it lies thousands of miles off the coast, roughly halfway to Tahiti. The island is famous for its 887 extant monumental statues called moai, created by the early Rapa Nui people centuries ago. Not surprisingly, the well-publicized moai have overshadowed the island's other tourist attractions. But Easter Island also offers some great diving and surfing, as well as 2 volcanic craters and several sandy beaches. Roca National Park is located in Chile's far north in the Andean range and is one of the top tourist attractions in Chile. The most spectacular feature in Loca is the beautiful Lago Chungara, one of the world's highest lakes. Looming over it is the impossibly perfect cone of Volcan Parinacota, a dormant volcano with a twin brother, Volcan Pomarape, just across the border with Bolivia. Pucón is a small touristy town in the middle of the southern Lake District. The unrivaled location by a beautiful lake and imposing volcano makes it one of the most popular tourist attractions in Chile. Pucón offers a variety of sports and recreational activities, including water skiing, snow skiing, whitewater rafting, kayaking, horseback riding, natural hot springs, and climbing the Vala Rica volcano. Torres del Paine is a national park in the extreme south region of Patagonian Chile and features mountains, lakes, and glaciers. The centerpiece of the park are the 3 towers of Paine, which are made by 3 spectacular granite peaks shaped by the forces of glacial ice. The highest peak is about 2,500 meters. Val de la Luna is located in the Atacama Desert. This breathtaking desert landscape is the result of centuries of winds and floods on the sand and stone of the region. The large sand dunes and stone formations mimic the surface of the moon, giving the region its name, which translates to the Valley of the Moon. Located within the Laguna San Rafael National Park, the San Rafael Glacier is a giant glacier that calves into the Laguna San Rafael. The glacier is accessible only by boat or plane. The journey by boat is a spectacle in itself, passing through the narrow channels of the isolated Eisen region. What you can see from the boat is in fact just the end of the glaciers, which extend about 15 kilometers from its source. Located on the Pacific coast of the central region of Chile, Valparaiso is known for its brightly colored houses, bohemian culture, and beautiful seaside views. Built upon dozens of steep hillsides overlooking the Pacific Ocean, Valparaiso boasts a labyrinth of streets and cobblestone alleyways, embodying a rich architectural and cultural legacy. The Chiloé Archipelago is an isolated group of islands, best known for a number of unique churches that boast a particular architectural style called Chilota. The style has a very unique combination of Aboriginal and European influence, and was reflected in more than 100 wooden churches in these islands that were created back in the 17th century. The churches fell into disrepair, but almost 24 restored sites are now available to tour and serve as a gorgeous representation of this unique mestizo-style combination. The largest penguin colony in southern Chile, Los Pingüinos Natural Monument, is home to more than 120,000 Magellanic penguins. Located on the small Magdalena Island, just 1 square kilometer and topped by a pretty red lighthouse, it lies 35 kilometers northeast of Punta Arenas. In September or October each year, the birds migrate back here and find their mate. By the end of March, the penguins have returned to sea again. Cerro San Cristobal is a hill in northern Santiago with a beautiful view over the city, and on a clear day, you can also see the Andes. At the peak, there is a church and a 22-meter statue of the Virgin Mary. The summit can be reached by cable car or a long hike. Cerro San Cristobal houses the Parque Metropolitano, Santiago's largest public park. In the park, there's also a botanical garden, zoo, and 2 swimming pools.
created using Powtoon.